Hello, what's up guys? I'm Kyle from KGR, and in celebration of hitting 9,000 subs, I thought it'd be fun to bring back an old video series I used to do way back in the day called Ask Me Mondays. Only problem is, I don't upload on Mondays anymore, so I guess we're gonna call it Ask KGR. And if we can keep this series going, which I do want to do this like once a month, so leave some questions in the comments. I'll get more into that later. I kind of want to see if Shine Sprite Gamer can like make a logo for me, because the kids go with Photoshop. I think he can do it. So anyway, like when it comes to the questions, like it can be whatever. I haven't done this video series in years, so I don't mind re-going over some of the same topics. Like it can be whatever, whether it be games, anime, action figures, or even some personal questions. I don't mind. As long as it's not too personal, like, you know, my address or phone number or anything like that, or anything not PG. Keep it PG and we'll be fine. So yeah, I want to keep the series going, but it's all up to you guys. You have the power for this. So without further ado, let's answer some fun questions, because some of them are interesting. Actually, shout out to Epic Gamer for actually leaving like a crap ton of questions to actually make it really interesting. Okay, so first question, what do you think makes a good action figure? To me, it all comes down to, is it worth the price? For example, let's say you compare a Jax action figure to, I don't know, a Figma or an Android. Let's just say Figma, because they're technically both action figures. Some of you would say, no, get the other one because it's cheaper, more affordable. Or some will say, oh no, get the Figma because it has a lot more coming with it and it looks better. At the end of the day, it's all up to you. Like for me, I've been collecting these figures for how many years now? 7 years at least. I invested a lot of money in this shelf. But for me, I care about the articulation, the paint job, the sculpt, and accessories. Like, there's a lot going into it. But at the end of the day, is it worth the price? Like, I love Figma, but like the Twilight Princess XD version or DX version of Link, phenomenal figure. It hits everything I like. I wish it came with a few more accessories like a rupee and forget what else, but for the most part, yeah, it comes with everything I like, and I think it's worth the price. While with another figure from another Figma line like My Hero Academia, yeah, just like the Link, great sculpt, great paint, and all that stuff, but with the lack of accessories and they're still around the same price point, it's not worth it to me. Like, I gave a review on the Bakugo Figma, which it has a great sculpt, great paint, but there's so many things that I don't like about it, and then it asks for a high price tag. I don't think it's worth the money, especially when you're getting a much better product from a whole another company with better paint, better articulation, sculpt-wise, yeah, probably better sculpt too. Like, there's a lot more coming from another company for the same price, and at that point, that one's better. And in my opinion, the only reason why the other one's better is because that it's the same price point. Like if the Figma was only like 50 bucks, then sure, I would say the Figma's a good contender. That one's a good figure, it's fine. But because they want close to $80 to $100 for it, it's not worth it at all. I think it's I think it's overpriced. I think it's a ripoff. Felt like I spent too long on that one. Let's move on. Okay, Armored Werewolf. Hey buddy, how you doing? Favorite music to hammer your ham to? I don't know how to answer this question. I kind of have a feeling on what he means by it. I don't want to get into that. We're going to move on. What is your favorite game to play with friends? This one's fun. Okay, so it all depends on how many people are there and what all we're doing. And like what all they grew up with, I guess. The reason why I say what they grew up with is because if it's like my family or very old friends that I've had, I want to play iToy on PS2. iToy is a very underappreciated fun time, but it only works well if you have good lighting. So when you have good lighting, it works great. I had my girlfriend playing it with me. She hated it. She couldn't get it to work well. But when I was playing it with my cousin, man, he and I went ham. Great. I think it was fun. And I want to have my neighbors come down sometime and play it with me again. But depending on how many people are there, if it's like more than like 3 people, Mario Kart's my favorite. Smash, I only do good 1v1. But my buddy and I, Ian, here we've been playing a lot more Naruto Storm 4 lately. I mean, he's better than me, but I'm the only one that gives him a run for his money. And every once in a while, I get in there and get something. But for the most part, he's better than me. I mean, I like playing Monopoly on the Wii, and I kind of want to get on the Switch now, but man, the game ruins friendships, though. Fair warn you. I feel like once I have enough money to just spend, I kind of want to just buy a bunch of Switch games. Like when they're on, like when they're doing stuff like buy 2 get 1 free at Target, because they do that a lot. I'm sorry, I tend to ramble. Next question. Will there be a return to Let's Plays? It all depends on what you say by Let's Play, because if you mean like a full playthrough of a game, definitely not. I'd rather do live streams. Because suppose I stop doing live streams and I just do Let's Plays. How it typically runs is first episode, let's say I get a couple hundred views for my size of a channel. And I'm like, yay, big success, people love it. And then the next episode after that, I get about 66 to 80% of the original viewers from the first one into this one. Then after that, it dwindles down more and more. And let's say I'm at 10,000 subscribers. I'm probably only going to get about 50 to 80 views probably towards the end of the playthrough. And like I think the final episode, maybe get a little bit more. But when it's towards that very end, it's probably going to dwindle down to like 40 or 50 viewers. Like, nobody cares about playthroughs much anymore. We're not in that era of YouTube anymore. Because it's all driven by personality. And in a Let's Play, my personality is not that great. At least I don't think it is. But when it comes to stuff like one-off videos, like me and my friend wanted to do a Pokemon Stadium video. I tried doing a Mario Maker video a couple of times. But each time throughout the past year or two, I would try to record a regular old gameplay video. Something went wrong. Whether it be, like, recently, my microphone's not been working because I got a brand new microphone and sometimes just doesn't pick up my audio. I don't know why that happens. Or, like, the gameplay will be out of sync with audio sometimes. That happens. I'll understand why this all happens, but something happens to make it not work. And it's funny because I got more expensive, better quality equipment, but yet my older stuff that's a lot less quality is a lot more reliable than any of this stuff that I have now. I'll understand why, but that's, as Mario would like to say, that's how the meatball bounces.
That's the way the meatball bounces!
Okay, next up, if you had to choose to get rid of any character from My Hero Academia, who would it be and why? Ooh, this one's easy. Mineta. I hate him with a burning passion. He has no point in being in Class 1A or being in My Hero at all. He's just a stereotypical perv character who has a very useless power that doesn't help anybody or anything. Sure, it might trap somebody, maybe, but that's it. I feel Mineta needs to have a good arc, and even then, I don't think it's gonna redeem him all that much. Unless he, like, stops being a perv, because he's the most annoying character in My Hero. Alright, quick question, how did you get into doing YouTube? This is not gonna be a quick answer. This one I'm gonna drag on for a while, because it has quite the story. So, it all started in 2009, back when I was in my freshman year of high school. So, like, I just made a channel just so I can subscribe to people, leave comments, and other bullcrap like that. But then I decided me and my friend should upload some videos just for laughs. Didn't try to build a channel, we just did it because we could. And nothing really happened from there. But then during my senior year, so 2012, I had a 3DS that could record videos, and I think I got a flip cam around that time too. I decided, oh, let's record some Beyblade videos because I was super into Beyblade at the time. I was 18 years old and I was really into Beyblade to the point where it was down to a science. And it's very alarming. I question a couple of things, but I'm not going to get into that. That's a little bit personal. But anyway, then a year later, I decided let's do some videos in front of the camera. But I think before that, before I decided doing stuff in front of a camera, I decided, let's do some gameplay videos, because I was watching people like Brain Scratch commentaries and Kabanamani 456, and I was inspired to do Let's Plays. But then I was also watching some Wii reviewers, and it was a funny era of YouTube, because like they all did the same shtick, same personality tropes, and everything. And it focused on the same thing. It felt like the same channel multiple times. I mean, we're still going through that now with all these Sonic channels covering PC mods. Whether it be Blue Velocity or Sonic Central, or there's a couple of other Sonic YouTubers that do the exact same thing. No commentary, just mods, and they all have special thumbnails and special names. It's to the point where if you subscribe to one, you know all the content. Like, it's nothing new. But anyway, one of those re-reviewers did a video on how he records his gameplay. And funny enough, all of these channels did the exact same thing, like the exact same quality and same exact equipment. So then I recorded gameplay, and then over the years I upgraded my equipment more and more, and I still do that to this day. And also, as a kid, I've always wanted to have an audience, whether it be people watching me play games in the living room, or when I was in school, I used to like doing plays and speeches, until I was scarred one day. Like, a teacher, like, completely screwed me over. I'm like, I just had a question about, like, my presentation. They're like, you know what, let's do a presentation right now. I wasn't prepared. And, like, even before that, like, I'd be shaking and technically nervous in front of an audience, but I was still excited to do the speech anyway. Like, it was weird. So I guess it all started as a kid where, like, I loved having an audience. And now I just do it differently. Like, I do live streams to play games, so I get my audience watching me play games. And I do stuff in front of a camera, so I can still do my speeches. It just got easier over the years, I guess. But I still have that nervous tick where, like, the way I present myself in front of a camera doing pre-recorded videos versus how I do it on a live stream are two completely different versions of me, and I don't understand how to get rid of that tick. I think it's the fact that, like, I know I'm gonna edit this video and, like, I have to watch myself redo it and try to perfect it in front of a camera. While with live streams, I don't care, because I'm not rewatching it. I'm just trying to hang out and talk to my viewers. And I kind of wish I could, like, break that barrier, but I don't know how to break it yet. I've been doing this for, what, 7-8 years, and I still haven't perfected it yet. Let's face it, I'm not meant to be a full-time YouTuber. But he also left another comment in another video asking about what are my thoughts on the Uncharted movie so far, like, when it comes to production, and do I think there should be another Uncharted game? Well, when it comes to the movie, I'm carefully optimistic. We're in that era now where video game movies actually aren't bad. There's still bad ones that still come through, like Monster Hunter. Like, people are mixed about that one. But I think we're on a good upturn when it comes to this whole video game movie franchise thing. I think since they're not trying to adapt like a full game into a movie, I think it'll do just fine. And sure, it has Tom Holland in it, but that don't mean squat. They had Robert Downey Jr. in the new Doolittle movie, and that movie sucked. It's all about writing and direction. So, it's up to them. And this movie's been development hell for years. So, part of me is nervous, but I'll give it a shot. When it comes to a new game, I feel like possibly it could happen, but they didn't do anything for the Sonic movie. They didn't do anything for Detective Pikachu. So I think making a new Uncharted game, it could work. Maybe. Let's suppose they don't do a movie tie-in, they just do a whole new Uncharted game later. It could work, but Nathan Drake's story is done. So it's not going to work then, because they're watching it, investing themselves into Nathan Drake, so they just got to play the older games then. But I feel Naughty Dog needs to break away from Last of Us and Uncharted. Because back then, PS1, they focused on Crash Bandicoot, moved on. Jak and Daxter, they did that for PS2, moved on. PS3, they did Uncharted, aka Dude Raider, and then threw out Last of Us at the very end. And it was very great. So then PS4, they redid Last of Us and repolished that so many times, whether it be for PS4 Pro or getting a faster load times on PS5. And then Part 2 came out, and that was okay. I want to replay it again, to be honest. But now there's rumors going around that Naughty Dog picked up the project to redo Last of Us, and it's not necessary. They don't have to. If they're going to remake anything, remake Jak and Daxter. I'd rather have that. Or, better yet, move on. Make a new adventure. Make a new story. We're in a new generation of consoles. Let's have a new generation of Naughty Dog. The only thing I'd possibly want is maybe a third part for Last of Us, just to make it a trilogy and call it a story, call it done. But even then, we're probably not going to get that for like another 5 years. Okay, do you think Crash 4 will be getting any DLC? I don't know. I mean, we got the next gen versions of Crash 4, and I feel like that's enough. And also, you know, PC version as well. I feel like if they would have done DLC, they would have done it by now. And even then, what else could they add to it? This game is already jam-packed with content to the point where a lot of it's redundant, in my opinion. Like, the whole, like, reversed mirror mode type of thing, like, that's annoying. That's just doing filler content, in my opinion. But if they add more, I'll buy it. if it's paid DLC, but chances are that's probably going to be free DLC just to generate more hype for Crash. But I feel like if they're going to do it, they got to do it this year, because this year is the 25th anniversary for Crash, and they want to celebrate it somehow. But yeah, sure, we got next-gen versions, and now, oh, excuse me. Anyway, we got the next-gen versions, and we got the app now. What else could they do for this year? Yeah, we got the Nendoroid coming out, but they're not promoting that. They're not getting people hyped up for it. It's just collectors. Hey, Nendoroid's happening. Check it out. If I was a big Instagram star, I would love to have a prototype of this or get early access to this and do so many pictures promoting this thing. Speaking of, follow me on Instagram, because when I get this thing, I am going to be doing so many shots outside. I can't wait. I also need to buy some mosquito repellent, because God, last year I got bit up so bad. I hated it. Next up, which game has the best soundtrack? PS1, PS2, or PS4 era? I want to say the PS1 era, because that set the groundwork on what Crash music should be. In fact, they pretty much reused it a little bit in Wrath of Cortex. And when Twin Sanity came along, that set a new era, and Twin Sanity's music alone is fantastic. I hate that air freshener. I feel like Tag Team Racing kind of did similar music to Twin Sanity, but Twin Sanity itself was just god tier for a soundtrack. The rest of the PS2 games, I don't care all that much. PS4, on the other hand, when it came to the remakes, he just redid the music, but the PS1 versions are a lot more superior because they set the mood a lot better, and they changed the tone too much. While Crash 4, I didn't play it enough to really memorize the music yet. The only thing I memorized is the theme song that you hear in the title. That's it. So, PS1, because that's the only ones I really remember. What's better, PS5 or Nintendo Switch? Okay, as an adult, you know, being close to 30, I hate accepting that. I feel like PS5 is better for me because we got the whole library of PS4, we got PlayStation Now, we got all those games to play with. While Nintendo Switch, yeah, there's great Nintendo exclusives, but I don't play a lot of those Nintendo exclusives anymore, and it makes me sad. And I can't take advantage of the Switch and take it on the go with me because I don't have time to play games on the go either. Like, if I was in high school, then Switch would be my favorite, no question. But because I'm primarily staying at home playing my games, I'd rather get the benefits of PS5 than the portability of the Switch. But that's me. Let me know in the comments, what's your favorite? Hey, what games besides Crash do you have a lot of nostalgia with? This is actually the question that I got wrong, in my opinion, and had to redo the whole video, and I was so mad because I was like a half an hour in. Because I read it the wrong way. I only focused on PS1, while the most nostalgic with I have, I think, it's tough. But I'm going to say the Sonic games. Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, like, I love them so much. And also, like, Mario 64, like, and even Sonic 06, guilty pleasure. Like, these games, I love playing at least once a year. It's just, I have to, you know? I'm obligated to. Okay, and what Mario sequel would you want from another game? This one's tough to answer because, like, with Mario 64, you can say Mario Odyssey is a good sequel. Mario Sunshine, who wants another sequel to that? Mario Galaxy, we already got a sequel to that. Mario World, my favorite 2D platformer, already has a sequel technically with Yoshi's Island. So I guess the way to answer this for me would be kind of controversial. New Super Mario Brothers. Like, yeah, I'm nostalgic, especially for the DS version and the Wii U version. The first and the last. But people are sick of it because they milked it out too much. And, like, the New Super Mario Bros. 2 on the 3DS and Mario U on the Wii U were released a couple of months apart from each other. And everybody's sick of them, and I completely understand. But it's been so long since that happened. I think it's time that the Switch, not the Wii U, the Switch gets a brand new exclusive New Super Mario Bros. Because I miss original 2D content. Like, yeah, we got Mario Maker, but I want Nintendo's original ideas. I want new things brought to the table. I want new power-ups that are ridiculous. Can we get another one, please? Will there be any other content besides Guitar Hero on your TikTok? There's one video I do have in mind, but besides that, I'm not entirely sure. Like, my friend's been pushing me to do TikTok for probably a couple of years, and I said no. Because I can't think of anything off the top of my head that would be good for TikTok. Then Guitar Hero clicked, and I'm like, sure, let's keep doing Guitar Hero. But besides that, I don't know what else I can do on TikTok. Like, what kind of content would you want on TikTok? So the way I answered the one video about the nostalgia, that original answer that I had in my original recording was pretty much this answer. It was my favorite PS1 games besides Crash, Rugrats Search for Reptar. I played that like a couple of years ago with my friend Eric, and we still love that game. So I played it on live stream just like in the past year, and we all loved it. That game is still God tier. It's so easy and so short, and yet so nostalgic. It's like the perfect game for me. I love replaying that game. Okay, if there was a Crash and Spyro crossover, what type of game do you think it would be? And this person thinks that it's gonna be like Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. It's I want to see a platformer. But I know the Canadian guy A did a video explaining how it wouldn't work, but I don't know. I think it still could work. Like, Toys for Bob completely understands the fan base and love for both franchises because Toys for Bob is now involved and in control of both of these. I think they could do it. I think they could definitely make a platformer that could work. Because we don't want another minigame compilation. We want them to cross worlds and interact with each other and, I don't know, give us the childhood we always wanted. What's your opinion on the PS5 so far? Is it your new favorite console? I mean, if it played all 5 generations, then absolutely. As of right now, it doesn't quite do that yet. I mean, we have PlayStation Now, which isn't the best, but it works. But it's okay. I like it. I mean, we still need more content, but I don't touch my PS4 anymore. So I hope that answers the question. What game would you want a sequel of and why? Okay, I guess besides the Mario games, I guess other than more Crash sequels, because I know we're getting those. But this one's going to be a little bit unrealistic, but hear me out. So we all want Sonic Adventure 3. I'm in that boat as well. That's pretty much my answer, but there's a twist to it. Throughout most of Sonic's history, Unleashed, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinions, is probably the most special one. It's not, people are saying it's the best Sonic game. I don't think it is. But Sonic Unleashed does so many things right that I believe needs to be carried over to a new Sonic game. Like, I want gameplay like Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Even then, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2's gameplay, even just for Sonic alone, are completely different. But I want something similar to it. If you compare Sonic Unleashed running on a Series X compared to Sonic Forces running on the same console, Sonic Unleashed is a much better game in many, many ways. The only downfall, in my opinion, well, actually, there's a couple of things about Sonic Unleashed I don't like. Like the metal collecting and pretty much the Warehog gameplay. Like, it gets annoying to me over time. But Sonic Unleashed has probably one of the best stories of a Sonic game. It takes itself seriously when it needs to, but for the most part, it can be lighthearted. It has a decent tone. When I think of Sonic Unleashed, I think of a Pixar movie. It's the most beautiful Sonic game, by far. It has a half-decent story, and for the first time ever, and they never did this again, the human characters looked like they actually belonged in that world. With Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, and even Sonic 06, especially Sonic 06, the human characters didn't feel like they fit in. Like, it was just a real-life world with Sonic characters. It didn't feel like they were an integrated world. It just didn't sit right to a lot of people. But Sonic Unleashed did it perfect. They never touched it like that since. And it upsets me. Give us multiple playable characters again, like in Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. But give us that visual and, I don't know, stories. I want a combination of Sonic Unleashed and Sonic Adventure. And make that Sonic Adventure 3. Can we get that? There's a game to get a remake. Which franchise will it be? Theirs is Ape Escape. I'm more of a Sonic Adventure remake fan, but Ape Escape definitely needs that love, though. At least Sonic Adventure got multiple ports, but Ape Escape hasn't gotten any new light since. Like, it's rough. What was the first thing you would do if COVID ended? I mean, I would be happy to go to work without a mask, because I work in a warehouse. And lifting a lot of heavy things while wearing a mask is very uncomfortable, in my opinion. Like, I know it doesn't affect your breathing, but when you take off that mask, I feel a difference. That's no placebo effect. I mean, I want to hug people again without being looked at. I want to lick people without people screaming. I don't know. I want to do a lot of things. But in all seriousness, I am looking forward to not going to work without a mask. But I'm also looking forward to not waiting in lines to go to a store at a mall. Because there's a lot of things I want to do, but because of social distancing, don't allow you to do it to its full extent. And once those restrictions are gone, I'm so excited to just do whatever I want to again. There are so many date ideas that I've wanted to do with my girlfriend that with the whole COVID-19 thing, like, we could still technically do, but not enjoy it as much as we originally love it in our heads, you know? And I'd rather get our full love out of it. And the battery's dying. I gotta wrap this up. Have you ever tried getting all the relics in Insane Trilogy? At first, no. I hate that idea. But then I started thinking, if I'm gonna replay Crash all over again in my streams, I think I should definitely go for the relics, because at least I can add some more percentages to my save progress in these games. So I think this year, when I have downtime and I'm not playing any other games, then yeah, I definitely want to play the relics. And what is your favorite Pokemon generation? This one's tough. I have to elaborate on this one. Gen 4 is typically my best answer, because Action Replay made me love Diamond. Pearl I didn't touch, because when I got Diamond, I just tossed it to the side. Platinum, I love playing that game, especially when my friend was in the hospital and the game came out at the time. So I was playing that a lot at the hospital. I wasn't a good person back then, I'm sorry. And Heart Gold came out, the Pokewalker came out. I was so excited that was like a step closer to real life Pokemon. And also going back to Kanto was really awesome too. But Black and White did so many things right. Like, it's tough to call between the two of them. Like, I love the world and Pokemon, I guess, in Gen 4 better. But Gen 5 has much better mechanics and much better stories. Like, Gen 5 is great. So, I guess I'll just stick with Gen 4. But, that's it. So, if you're new and you like what you saw, you know what to do. In the description, there's my social medias. I hate the rush to the end, but the battery's dying. But more importantly, if you want this series to keep going, leave questions in the comments. I want to answer them in another month. I definitely wanted to keep doing this. So thank you guys. I love you guys so much. Whether you subbed a couple of days ago or a couple of years ago, the fact that you got me to 9,000 subs means the world to me, and I love you guys so much. Come to my live stream so you can see how much I love you. And anyway, yeah, I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. So, peace.